Hey folks, welcome to Old Boy and Georgia Guitars and More. This evening I was going to try to do a quick video on some of these Partscasters that I've been working on over the past few months from time to time. We had the one that I've got done with finally that started out as a silver tone. We done the relicing on the parts, like the bridge, the neck plate, the jack, stuff like that. Got a left-handed tremolo bar on it. I was able to do the fake leather pick guard, able to cover it. Got it all set up. We got our headstock decals. Got the tuners aged a little bit. They're just a little off color. We got our neck kind of worn looking. Not a whole lot of time in it. You can't, for what I'll sell this for, limited on the amount of time that I can put into it and come out. But, it come out real good. It's got, the frets are level, polished, the fret ends done. I mean, it's a real nice playing guitar. And it's going to be one of the ones when I have this, I'm going to put the three strats together. This one, the 50s road worn, made in Mexico 50s strat, and then the Chinese SRV strat. And we're going to play all three and compare the sound to the cost and all that. So that's going to be, coming up, and then we'll have a sound comparison and all that, and I'll play it then. But today, what I'm working on is this other one, and if you go back and look, at the videos, road worn Stratocaster, whatever, I can't remember. It's one of my videos. This started out as a black. I think it was an S101 or something brand. We've changed put the little decal on the headstock. The tuners that were on it were junk. So I put some better tuners. They're nothing great. And like I say, the frets, been leveled, polished. The fretboard's been cleaned and oiled. And, we've got just a basic cheap tremolo, the small block in the back. And I've done a so-so paint job on it. It's nothing great. Kind of left a little bit of wear a place or two, and and it's just rattle can, like regular old paint, hardware store paint, with a real thin coat of lacquer. And I didn't wet sand it or anything. I just kind of left it rough. And my idea is this will eventually wear off, wear down, somebody playing it. It might look fairly decent, So it's what I'm doing now is I'm going to install this pick guard that I got from GFS, and so we're going to put that in and put in the jack. But something about these, and it's something if you're just starting to do this kind of thing, and you go out here and find one of these guitars, you can see where I had to route out the cavity, and I know that looks like a rat chewed that out. And if this was a more higher end guitar, I would have done a lot better. But being this what it is, I had to keep routing this out to get clearance for these bigger pots on this pick guard. So that's something you run into, like a first act style strat, possibly like an Austin, even some of the squares, like the Affinity or Bullets. It's got the thin bodies. You'll run into this deal with the cavity. Also, on the pick guard, I had to trim out quite a bit, probably 1/8 of an inch off of the edge of this pick guard to make it fit, the neck pocket here, because it's, just this neck is a little bit wider than a regular strap, and it still don't fit exactly perfect. I mean, you would never know it if you didn't know it, and then another thing you get is, and like when I got this, it didn't have the output jack. And like a regular Squire or Fender jack, these are a little off size. These are a little longer than what came in these, and that's something that the first act I've run into the same thing. So even though they're a Strat style, there's quite a bit of difference, and you can get yourself in trouble because if you try to use this neck on like a Squire, you're going to have to route out the neck pocket bigger because this neck's just a little bit bigger than a regular Squire or Fender neck. So that's the little things you run into when you start trying to modify some of these and upgrade some of these guitars. So I'm not gonna shield the cavity in this. That mainly comes into play, in my opinion, if you're doing shows, if you're around a lot of lights, a lot of stuff. It's gonna, not so much with this humbucker, but with the single coils. But most likely, ever who gets this guitar is going to be just a beginner, somebody playing at home in their bedroom or whatever. It's not going to be an issue. And like I say, for what money I'm going to get out of this, there's only so much time and material I can spend and still come out on it. So, but I'm going to go ahead and get this thing wired up, and then when I come back, we'll put the strings on and set it up and see what it sounds like. Okay, I've got all this wired up. Really isn't much to it. It comes with everything. All you really have to do is hook your your hot and your ground to your switch. Also, the ground going to your claw on the back of your tremolo. So that's got that done. We'll stick these screws in here, and like I say, I had to modify it. No, there wasn't but one screw hole that actually lined up, so I had to fill and re-drill, and the ones that were close, I filled them. The ones that weren't didn't matter. So. And these plywood bodies, I run these screws in by hand. I don't use a power screwdriver or nothing. These plywood bodies, it don't take much to strip them out. So that's something to think about when you're looking at a project like this, is getting something. I mean, I recommend a Squire, like the Classic Vibe or the Squire SE, something along that line that's going to be a lot better as far as upgrading parts and stuff. The Squire Standards, I know most of them have the full size body, because that's what you really run into with on the switch on those thinner bodies. I mean, there's just not enough room, and you have to try to, route out the bottom of the cavity, and a lot of times you don't have a whole lot of space to play with. So that's something to keep in mind with that. So we'll get this back together, and then we'll test it out and see. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that right now before we go any farther, just to make sure that we're going to be good, that everything actually works. Because some of this stuff, I haven't tested to see. So we'll try. right, so our wiring is all good. We know that's good. So that's something we won't have to worry with. So I tell you, let me go ahead and sew this thing up and go ahead and put the strings on it, and because I mean that's simple. Nobody wants to watch that. And then once we get the strings, I get the strings on it. We'll check the intonation and string height and all that real quick. Okay, guys, I'm back. This filming with a Android phone is amazing. I've got to get my little camera figured out. I've got a couple more tripods this week. Really trying to work on trying to get this thing going. I don't have a lot of time to spend trying to learn all about editing and whatnot, and I know I'm going to have to, but I really don't want to. But, you know, if I'm going to do this, you know, I've got to get better at it. So, okay, got the pick guard in. Like I say, that's a GFS guard, loaded pick guard. Got the bigger pots, nice switch, the humbucker, GFS humbucker. This, you know, ceramic magnet, single coils, I got the strings on it. Let's see, I put on a set of the Ernie Ball 46 10s. That's just my preference. That's what nothing wrong with 9s. I've tried like 1154s and all. That's like trying to play a barbed wire fence to me. I mean, it just kills me. So, all right, we got it. We got it all. Let's make sure we're still working here. Oh yeah, we're working. We're not tuned up. We're working. So let's see what we can do about getting a little tuning going on. I'm just going to get relatively close. I'm not going to try to get, you know, just right on it right now because I'm going to check the string height and all that. So just kind of getting the ballpark. Just in the ballpark. A lot of times I'll tune a lot of my strats. I'll tune them a half a step down, but I'll go ahead and tune this one up to standard pitch. But I usually play mine a half a step down. Okay, that's close enough right now. That's gonna get us where we can kind of tell, you know, what we got going on here. Let's see, I always get this thing turned the wrong way. Okay, we're 2.5 millimeters. 2.5. So we're really high. But that's good because we've got plenty of room on our saddles to come down. And if we have to, you know, I can shim the neck. But I think I'm going to have plenty of room to get it down where it needs to be. So that's going to, you know, that's going to help. And as far as the truss rod and everything, and it's not had spring tension on it in a while. So it's going to be, you know, I'm sure I'm going to have to do some stuff to it to get it just right. And one would be to use the right side of this. There we go. Right side of our not straight exit. Yeah, the neck looks good right now, but like I say, it's been around a while without any string tension on it. So, I may have to tweak it a little bit. It all works. Uh, but, I'll have to check the intonation on it, uh, and all of that stuff. But, it works. So we'll try it out and see how I'll get everything set up on it. But my main thing with this was, this guitar was pretty much just a thrift store junk pile, going to get thrown out stuff. So I got it, no cost. It's got a good neck on it. I mean, it's got the right nice grain. It's got a good looking fretboard. It's got the real flat radius, probably a 16-inch radius, good size frets. They're all level. We got the single humbucker thing going on. I had the paint I had laying around I didn't have to buy. So really I've got $34 in the pick guard. I already had the pickup, or the tuners, excuse me. So, what for that plus my time, and it's not the best paint job in the world, but like I say, this most likely somebody will buy this for their kid to learn on, and it'll be straight. It'll play good. I mean, I'll get this action down. It won't have any fret buzz, and this is a great beginner guitar that they can probably get for around $100 or less. And it's going to play a lot better than something that they may pay $250 or even $300 for. And I tell you, if I'd had a guitar like this when I was 13 or 14 years old, man, I would have thought I had it going on, So that's the thing is it didn't end up in the landfill. It ended up being redone. And like I say, I work on this stuff in between. I do stuff I don't even film. I done a classical guitar this week, fixed a brace in it that was cracked and restrung it, set it up, and a lot of stuff. I just don't have time to film. I mean, I work a full-time job trying to do this, and I got people needing stuff. So, I don't, but I've got plenty of other stuff coming up. We've got the Telecaster that I've got to get back together. That's got the putting the Earl Slick pickups in, and got to get it back together. And then today, somebody gave me this jewel, and I didn't know what it was at first, and then I realized it was Ibanez with a Gibson Les Paul neck. But this is the trim. It's a licensed Floyd Rose. And some of the saddles are busted. I see string ball ends down in there that somebody's crammed in there. I mean, this thing's a real jewel. I mean, I don't know. They're in, check out how they put the input jack in with some automotive trim screws to hold the input in. That's great. But, so might be able to take this body and actually do something with it one of these days. I mean, they handed it to me and said, here, I found this. You can have it. So, and I have taken these fretboards off and cut, to pull the frets, cut them down, and used them in cigar box guitars. So, there's always something on here. I mean, if there ain't that one knob, that's worth anything. I mean, it's something, a couple of springs and a claw. So you might see this one again. I can't guarantee anything, but you may see it again at some other point. So anyway, I know this video's kind of thrown together real quick. I mean, I'm trying to get some of this stuff done and out of the way. I appreciate everybody subscribing. I'm trying to grow this thing a little bit. Like I say, I'm trying to get my production, doing a better quality video. Got to work on that. But with wintertime coming on, fall of the year, I may have some more time to do that. And, I appreciate all the thumbs up. So, if you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. But, hit the subscribe button, the little bell. I mean, it helps me out to get the more the better. So, I hope this was, I hope this video makes some kind of sense anyway. But that's our Partscasters pretty much done. We'll be having a a showdown with the old Silvertone Partscaster, the Stevie Ray Vaughan SRV, and the Fender Road Worn 50 series, and I'm not going to be the one playing it. I'm bringing somebody in that can really bring it out in them. So, we're going to compare those and see just what you get for the money, what you put into it. So, anyway, I appreciate you watching. Until the next time, see you.